everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another commentary where I'm riding Indy, and basically the whole ride was just working on getting canter leads and things. So if you're not familiar with Indy and you're quite new to my channel, she's quite on the forehand and is a little bit unbalanced, and she finds it a bit troubling to kind of stay balanced. So it really puts pressure on the rider that the rider needs to keep her balanced. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm under the impression that she finds left canter difficult, so I'm just lifting that inside rein to kind of establish the balance and to try and get some of that inside flexion. And that was kind of just a test to kind of feel her out and see how she was feeling. Now I'm just doing my stirrups, so like being short, have to put rolls in the stirrups. But yeah, so basically when I'm riding, I'm trying to get flexion and I'm trying to keep her balanced. And yeah, I do apologize if I sound not great. I'm sick at the moment, so that's why. So with Indy as well, she can get a bit like she doesn't want to go forward, which is fine. Some horses get like that. And so what I like to do is I don't like to partake in being angry, if you know what I mean. So if she doesn't want to go forward, I just flutter the whip, I don't hit her with it, and I kind of annoy her more than anything. So I ask for canter there, we get a right canter. Now, we have so many attempts here where we try to get left canter and we don't get it. In the end, we do, but at first we don't. So each transition, I try and pick up on something I could do differently. So there, I really tried to exaggerate my outside leg. It didn't work. There we tried to get left canter again, didn't work. And as you can see, I'm really trying to raise that inside. I swapped my whip too, because I thought if I can apply a bit of pressure on the shoulder, that might encourage her to use the shoulder. So you can see that inside hand is really exaggerating, and I'm trying to really establish that flexion and keep her kind of up and a little bit back, because when she gets on the forehand, she can get quite unbalanced. So my biggest things, my checklist with her is I try and make sure I have some form of flexion. I try and make sure I'm really making my aids clear, so my inside leg is really being applied very well and my outside leg is siding back. And it's kind of trial and error, and we get it there, which is good. So I think what you saw there was really exaggerated, was my inside leg put heaps of pressure on, and I really hugged her with my inside leg, and I think that kind of helped her pick up the transition, and I really exaggerated my inside flexion, and it doesn't look pretty as a rider position. It doesn't look nice because my hands are everywhere, but I got the flexion and for that millisecond, and she was like, okay. So she picked up the left canter because it was easier for her to pick up. And then I just brought her back to walk, patted her, said good job. I think it's really important too, is you might see that when she did pick up on the wrong lead, I didn't pull her back straight away. I let her do 2 strides, and the reason being for that is because I don't want her to think that as soon as I ask for go, I'm going to ask her to stop. So I want to reward her for going, but then I bring her back because it was the wrong lead, if that makes sense. I don't want her to become under the impression of, oh, I shouldn't go because I'm just going to get pulled back, and then that will kind of put her in a backwards headspace and she's not going to want to move forward. So that's why I let her do a couple of strides first, and then I brought her back because I rewarded her for actually going, because that could be an issue. So I rewarded her for going, but I brought her back because she was on the wrong lead. Okay, so we didn't get the canter again. Again, we go through this little phase of not cantering. So in between the 2 clips, we did have like a 3-minute break, so it wasn't like I was not rewarding the left canter, but now we go and try again, and we're struggling picking up that right canter. So you can see there, I let her do a few strides before I bring her back, and I think that's really important. And you can see too, my body's getting quite twisty, and I'm trying to give her a little bit of an open space for her to jump into, if you know what I mean. Here we ask her to go forward, she doesn't listen, she gets a bit, don't make me go. So I just keep tapping. I'm not really concerned where she's going as long as she goes forward. She ended up going back on the correct rein, which was good, but I just kept saying forward, 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 forward. It's really important with horses who get frustrated when you start using whips or when you start asking them to move, that you don't get angry. As soon as you fall into that trap of being angry with them, you've never got a chance. You've got to find it funny. You have to laugh at it. And you probably can't see, but I'm actually laughing every time she picks up the wrong lead. I think I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like, it's the wrong thing that there you go. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so we had a really good inside flexion in that corner, but we asked for the transition a millisecond too late, and she had lost the flexion, so then we got the wrong lead. But going back to that point that I was saying about laughing when it goes wrong, as soon as I engage in being annoyed, in being frustrated, I immediately put all that anger and frustration onto her, and then she doesn't want to do anything. So I ask her to go forward here. She gives me a little piggeroo, a little kick out. She's like, no, Mum, we're not going forward. Forget it. So I just keep applying the pressure, and then I make sure I do a big reward when she does go. Got the wrong lead again. I want to show you guys, you know, this is a perfect example. Wrong lead again, that's fine. Bring her back. This is a perfect example of serious trial and error. And in a lot of my videos, in some of my artsy videos, I will cut out the bits that you don't want to see, but this is why I love doing commentaries, because you see that it doesn't always go to plan. It's not always, you don't always get what you ask for, and it's really important that you kind of keep saying with that resilient mindset, okay, you know what, I'm going to get the canter lead, I just have to keep trying. So we kept getting it wrong. We probably tried like 10 times now, and we still haven't got left canter. So I do a huge exaggeration, still didn't get it. And I'm trying as well now, I'm trying a bit of a different strategy, and I'm trying to put the pressure into my outside stirrup. So now I'm thinking I want to create an open space for her to dodge into, and she got the left canter lead. So that was awesome. I let her go for it. I really didn't pull back on the reins. I let her go up that long side. I said, good girl, you know, I was saying good girl the whole time. She came back to trot, gave her a pat, and then I gave her a break. That was her reward for getting left canter. So that was pretty much, I suppose, the schooling side of the ride. Now we've got the whole arena to ourselves. Or maybe not yet. So now what I'm doing is, now that she got the left canter, that's great. We've kind of become a bit more supple and a bit more relaxed on the left side now. So you can see I am completely aware of the fact that my whole upper body position right now looks completely horrid. But I'm trying to help in me bending. I'm trying to get her to come to the bend with me, if that makes sense. So I'm really exaggerating that inside rein. I'm lifting it up a little bit above the bit. I'm just squeezing on it, you know, kind of pulsing my pinkies, that's what I like to say. Just putting really small movements to kind of get her to bend her body through to the left, and you really see it there, you know. And it's really hard too, because it's just how she's built, she's quite unbalanced. So I'm trying to really over-exaggerate everything. So sure, it doesn't look pretty, but we're starting to get that left flexion, which is really good. Now we're just trotting again, and I'm trying to establish, we kind of got the flexion in the walk, now I'm just trying to really establish it in the trot. And the video cut short there, but we did do that for a few minutes, and she ended up getting the flexion quite well, which was nice. It's quite hard to, you know, you don't want to get too fiddly with reins as well on a horse who already doesn't really want to go forward, because then that kind of, you're making the experience they don't want to go forward even a stronger experience for them. So I'm trying not to be too fiddly with the reins. When she goes, I push my hands forward. And also as well, you know, you can see, okay, this was actually quite funny, sorry guys, but when we were going right, I was going to go around the whole arena, and she picked up left. So now I'm starting to realise that it's not actually an issue with a particular canter lead, it's an issue with balancing on the straight and getting the bend to whichever direction you're going. So she likes to veer like a motorbike. Now what happened here is she actually picked up the right canter lead, and because we hadn't come to this side of the arena, she was a bit spooky, and she was kind of just looking a little bit. I didn't want to force her into it and kick her and say, you know what, go, 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 go. I didn't do that. We get the right canter lead. Awesome. And I was telling her, good girl, and we were running up the long side. But that point where she was kind of spooky, I didn't want to put my leg on and barge her into the section, because that was going to make that area a bit of a negative space. So I just let her come back to trot. I let her go past the area. And now you see here, we don't have an issue whatsoever, and she just continues to canter past it because it hasn't become a negative space, or a space that I'm trying to force her to go into. So what I'm trying to do as well, like I said, because she's quite unbalanced, I like to keep I'm staying in that light seat to kind of let her back end travel a little bit, but I'm trying to stay very upright and kind of lift my hands above the bit, so if she does have a little trip or whatever, I kind of catch her and we can rebalance quite quickly. And this is kind of just like our fun release session, you know, I was just letting her go for it, she loved it, she wasn't hard to keep pushing, and her flexion was improving heaps without me having to really ask. I'm sorry that the camera's going so dark, the lighting was getting a bit funny at this time of the day. So there you go guys, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to say too, like, this ride was just me showing you that eventually, I probably had to try, I'd say about 15 times before I got left canter. So I'm showing you guys this because if you just keep asking and you think, okay, what can I change now? What's something I can do differently to get the result that I'm after? Then eventually you'll get your left canter, or eventually you'll get your right canter. Eventually you'll get what you ask for. You just have to constantly keep reevaluating and saying, what can I change? Do I need more weight in my outside stirrup? Do I need more flexion? And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you for next week's video. Bye.